You are a photographer and you have this amazing idea for your business. You're brimming with enthusiasm and you're pretty sure that the world is gonna beat down your door just to be a part of it. But frankly, running a photography business isn't that easy. The road ahead is filled with so many speed bumps and so many potholes. So to help you steer clear of some of them, I'm going to tell you the top 5 mistakes that I made early on in my photography business. As creatives and as people who love what they do, it's so easy to make this mistake. I spent my time chasing clients and their business. So every single time I would get an inquiry and they booked, I was ecstatic. I felt like I was on top of the world. Like everything that I was doing was right and it was working, and I just felt so happy. But then every single time that I would get ghosted, I would hear no response after an inquiry. I would see an old client book a session and get photos done with another photographer. I felt terrible. Self-doubt overwhelmed me. I started to question everything that I was doing. Did I need to change my prices? Were they too high? Did I need to alter my packages? Were my photos not good enough? Did I need to switch editing styles? Maybe I needed to purchase a course on branding. Maybe I needed to start posting on social media more. Maybe I needed to change the times that I was posting on social media. But when our identity is based on our job, you're only going to feel as good or bad as your latest performance. And my self-worth was literally hanging in the balance with every single inquiry that I got. Having to earn your self-worth like that is exhausting. And it's a lie. My job is a part of me, but not all of me. Do I love it? Yes. But does it determine who I am in my future? No. The second mistake that I made in my business was that I didn't know who I was. If you want your business to succeed, you have to know who you are, what you're about, why you do what you do, who you serve, and how you're different, how your business specifically changes the world. At the beginning of my business, I would look out at all of these other amazing and successful photographers, and I would merge 18 different visions and try to make my own. But the problem was it never worked because it's not true to who I am. It wasn't mine. The truth is that you are what's different about your business. Knowing who you are and not being scared to be that's what's going to attract people to your business. That is what's going to bring you clients and ultimately lead to lasting success. That's why I titled my course More Than Marketing, because it's not just about marketing. You can do all the right things, but unless you're highlighting the right things, which is you and who you are and how you're different, then you're never gonna be happy because you have to start in the right place. And the right place to start is finding who you are, who you serve, and why you're different. The third mistake that I made in my business is a lack of focus. I'm ADD in life and in business, and I'm not just talking about the day-to-day tasks. I'm talking about the ideas that were going on in my head. It was like a literal pinball machine of all of these good ideas, but knowing which ones to implement and when to implement them was like a freaking art form, and it's one that took me a really long time to learn. For a while, every single time an idea popped into my head, every single time I would see another photographer do something amazing, or every time that I would get inspired by something that I saw on Pinterest, I would go and implement all of these new things into my current structure of how I was doing things. But honestly, that was just a really big mistake. None of those things were true to my why. I was being spread too thin, and as a result, my clients weren't feeling as loved or as tended to as they needed to be. And so my business paid for that. As photographers and as visionaries, we have to be able to focus. We can't allow new ideas, whether they're ours or somebody else's, to distract us from our main objectives. The fourth mistake that I made in my business was impatience. I might be the most impatient person on the freaking planet. And I'm not even kidding. When I don't see immediate results, I get discouraged. And instead of just waiting, I begin to act. I start to change things. So in my business, if I started, posting on social media at a certain time or trying a new blog post tactic or something like that, and I didn't see immediate results that didn't happen as quickly as I wanted them to, I began changing things. But the truth is that things that take time, overnight success isn't real. The year that I started implementing the marketing system that I teach photographers in my More Than Marketing course, it took about 6 months for me to see that it was making a difference. And while 6 months doesn't sound like a big deal to you, posting on Facebook, opening up my heart, going live only to have nobody watch, writing blog posts for 3 people, day after day for 6 months, that was freaking exhausting. And the self-doubt that was literally crowding my brain was just overwhelming. And I had to choose to not listen to that. I had to wait. I had to be patient. I had to keep going. I continued to not post mediocre crap. I continued to show up for my audience and put in the hard work. And finally, after lots of hard work, endurance, and loads of patience, my months grew from $1,000 to $3,000 a month to $8,000 to $10,000 a month. But things take time, so give yourself time. The fifth mistake that I made in my business was not having a plan. I don't love schedules. I am not a type A personality. Perfectionism, non-existent. I just like to go with the flow. I don't want each day to be determined for me, but after years of experiencing inconsistency and failure in my business, I realized that I needed a plan. And to be honest, an Instagram post here, a Facebook post there, a sprinkle of blog posts, and a website that may or may not be updated isn't a plan. And yet, as creatives, this is what we do. We can't just post stuff and throw it out there and expect people to come. And yet, when I first started my business, that's exactly what I did. If I wanted an income of 6 figures, if I wanted people to rave about me and share my name to everybody, if I wanted to get 10 inquiries a week or book 30 weddings in a year, then I needed to have a plan. And not just any plan, but a good one. One that doesn't waste our time, but one that actually leads to growth. So sit down and figure out what you want and then determine how you're gonna get there. So those are the 5 mistakes that I desperately want you to learn from. Don't make the same mistake that I did. I could have experienced success far sooner if I had just done these 5 things. So let me know in the comments which one of these things you struggle with the most.